Now, if you have the bullseye's rash somewhere on your body, does that absolutely mean that you have Lyme's disease? That is a question for this short video. Probably in the last year, I had over 15 different ticks end up in my body with different rashes. So I did a little research on this and I want to share some data with you. Now, the first thing you need to know is that ticks carry this bacteria that can drill into your body. It's called a spirochete because it's kind of like this corkscrew, and this could lead to Lyme's disease. So the classic rash of Lyme's disease is the bullseye rash. However, just because you have the bullseye's rash doesn't mean you're going to get Lyme or you have Lyme disease. It could be something else, like southern tick associated rash illness, which is a related type illness, and you may have mild flu symptoms, fatigue, muscle pain, a headache, and this usually occurs in the south central states in the US. So if you have the southern tick associated rash illness, it can look like a bullseye or it can just look like a regular rash. There's also another tick that can give you a rash that doesn't even look like the bullseye, it's just a regular rash, and that comes from something called a Lone Star tick. Another name for it would be the northern water tick or the turkey tick or the cricker tick. So just because you get a rash or a bullseye's rash doesn't mean you're going to end up with Lyme. One more point about ticks, they're little vampires because they live on blood, and if they're younger, they usually are in the lower grass. As they get older, they can climb up different plants and even in trees, and they can even hang out with their legs dangling out, waiting for you to walk by so they can attach on you. And you usually won't even know it because they have certain chemicals that numb the skin, so you don't even know if they're crawling on you or if they bite you. But they can attach to dogs, and the dogs can bring them in and actually end up on you. And I think really that's what happened to me. Charlie, our dog, is always out in the grass, and so he'll pick them up and bring them right in, and then I'll get the tick. Now, I have a few more videos on Lyme's disease and ticks. I put a link down below to check out more information. So if you happen to get Lyme's disease, I have some additional things that you can do more on a natural basis. All right, thanks for watching. And I'm going to do some more videos on Lyme's disease and ticks because it's a very popular topic nowadays. This video is about ticks. I had another question. Why don't chickens that eat ticks get Lyme disease? Okay, because it's not really reported. If you do a search on this, I don't think there's been even one case where a chicken actually got Lyme disease. And plus the fact that chickens are known to eat ticks if you let them free range around your farm or your house. And since I'm living on a farm right now, I have about 20 chickens. And so hopefully they're cleaning up all the ticks around our area. Now, when I did some research on this topic, I found one experiment that related to this topic and basically exposed the chicken to a tick that was carrying Lyme, and the chicken's immune response was strong enough to defend against this bacteria. Now, the other thing you need to know is that not all ticks carry the Lyme disease, all right? It could be less than 1% up to 50%. So just because you get bit by a tick does not mean that you're going to get Lyme disease. And this percentage, less than 1% to 50%, depends on the location of where you are. The other point about ticks is they have to be attached to your body between 36 to 48 hours or longer before the Lyme bacteria can be transmitted. So if it's less than 36 hours, chances are that you don't have to worry about it. Also, it takes 3 to 5 days for that tick to fill up with blood. That's in an adult tick. In a younger tick, it could be between 2 to 3 days. And so if it hasn't filled up with blood, good chance that you're not going to be infected. Now, getting back to this chicken question, the first thing is chickens don't have teeth. So if they're free ranging, they're going to eat an insect or a bug or a worm, and it's going to go down their esophagus, and it's going to end up in something called the crop. And the crop is kind of a temporary storage place which has friendly bacteria, it has lactic acid, so it starts the digestive process. Then it goes to this thing called a true stomach, and that's where you have this very strong acid, very similar to a human stomach where the pH is between 1 and 3, okay, or actually 1.3 to 3.5. That acid alone is going to start to destroy the tick or the insect, okay? Plus it's going to activate a very powerful enzyme called pepsin, which is going to start to dissolve this protein shell around this tick. And so it's very unlikely that that tick's going to survive the stomach. Then after that, it ends up in something called the gizzard, which is another stomach area where you have all these muscles, and you also have grit, which is like sand, oyster shells, or little rocks that are going to act as teeth to start grinding down the food even further. And so that tick really has no chance of surviving these stages of a chicken's digestion. So if you're eating chicken and thinking you're going to get Lyme, it's not going to happen. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's some only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto and Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.